Hi, welcome everybody, it's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. We've got a driver head-to-head for you today, and I've got the new Titleist TS2 Driver, and I'm going to put it up against the Callaway Rogue. So two drivers, similar sort of mark here, ultra forgiving, high ball speed. We've got jailbreak in the Rogue, we've got consistent ball speed with the Titleist across the face here. So it'll be interesting to see how these two drivers go up against each other. We've got GC2 HMT, obviously give you some feedback from me personally as to looks, the feel. We'll look at some data, ball flight performance, and see which driver comes out on top. Okay guys, so we're going to start off with the Callaway Rogue Driver here. So obviously been a very popular driver from Callaway here. We've got a Composite Crown here, which is helping to reposition weight around the club head to make it a little bit more higher on MOI and forgiveness, and obviously a little bit ball speed. We've got jailbreak technology that we've seen in the Epic, obviously came into Rogue here. So those two titanium sort of rods that are positioned right behind the club face here to create a more stable face, a little bit faster ball speed there. We've got a little bit of ridging on the top, helping a little bit of aerodynamics, and obviously we've got the adjustable neck sleeve here to dial in loft and face angle. So we'll get this first one hit here with the Rogue. Yeah, so good solid start there. Typical sound that we see with these composite titanium mixes, that more duller, muted sound, which I like. It's a nice sort of sound. So I've got this set at, well, I've got a 9-degree head here, but it's set at 9 degrees, so I've not done anything with the neck sleeve to adjust the loft. Got it in an even flow 75 shaft here, which is an X-Flex, so a little bit more spec'd up to me. Let's get this second one hit. Okay, so that was a bit toey. That's flighted really nice, to be fair. Just turned up that left-hand side just with that slight toe strike. But that's done well. That's like 313 there. That definitely wasn't off the middle there. Definitely a toe strike, which I'm guessing will help with a little bit of gear effect. Pulls a little bit of spin off, which we know will add a few more yards there. That's a nice hit. Bit more neutral on that ball flight there. That's solid. Hanging that little air for what seems a long time there. Yeah, that's a cracker. Yeah, 390. Definitely felt like I got hold of that one there. 295 carry. That's a great strike. So as I mentioned before, we see that jailbreak technology in Rogue that we saw in Epic, and definitely gives the Rogue that more solid feel off the club face. You know, those two bars right behind that supporting that club face definitely feels a little bit firmer off that club face there. And to be honest, through fitting, we've probably seen a little bit of gain in ball speed there, maybe prior to sort of jailbreak. So I'm a little bit of a believer of the jailbreak, and I feel like it does give that little bit more ball speed. It'd be really interesting to see how it's pitched up against the Titleist, because the Titleist we've seen some very good numbers with in terms of ball speed, especially across the club face. Let's get this fourth one hit here with a Rogue. That's lovely again. Feels really solid there. Definitely more forgiving Rogue than Epic. That's something we've sort of seen through fittings through customers. That's 315 there. So some really healthy hits here. It'd be interesting to look at some spin numbers with this particular club here. So I'm going to move over into TS2. We've hit 4 shots there. We'll hit 4 with TS2, and then we'll have a look at some numbers in a little bit more detail. Okay, so now TS2 from Titleist in our hands here. So Titleist Speed, this stands for, and obviously TS2 is the 460cc head, a little bit longer from front to back here, so it's a big sort of appearance or big footprint behind the ball. As I said in the review here, I really like this sort of very flat or square sort of sitting club faces. Not a lot of roll or bulge visible on this particular driver here, which does give the impression you're going to hit it really, really straight. Classic black sort of finish there, Titleist logo arrow just pointing towards the ball this time instead of away, so that's a little change from the 917. But let's get this one hit. Ah, that's lovely. So that was a solid hit, just turning fractionally right to left there, but nothing too wild there. That's a good opening tee shot there, 307. That felt good. Feels different straight away. The sound's a little bit different, not that muted sound. There's no composite in the Titleist here. What Titleist done here is basically just strip down the the thickness of this crown by 27% more than 917. And they felt like they didn't have to go to the composite material to actually get that saving of weight and to then reposition. So it's still all titanium in the Titleist Driver. Okay, so I've got this one's 9.5 head here in the TS2, but I've got this knocked down to 9 degrees, so it's getting as close to the Rogue as I possibly can. Even flow shaft in here, slightly different to the Rogue, just purely because I haven't got the exact same even flow here, but it's an X Flex, so the flex is the same as I had in the Rogue. Let's get this next one here. So not a bad strike there. It wasn't quite flush, really high ball flight there. So that's probably going to drop a little bit. Yeah, 297, that did seem to go quite high there. Probably just struck that a little bit higher in the club face there. Okay, again, not a bad strike there at all. Very different shape there. The first few with the Rogue definitely turned over. That tends to be my weaker shot. I get much more neutral flight with TS2, less of those left shots, which I personally like, but we know when you turn one over, we're going to get a little bit more length out, purely because it's lowers the spin. Obviously, it's a more powerful ball flight. It's going to run out more, so we're going to get more distance with that shape of shot than something which is a little bit more neutral, a little bit more sort of fade bias there. Okay, so we're going to hit one more with the Titleist, and then we'll look a little bit deeper into the numbers. Oh, solid. Great sound to that, great flight, love that flight, love the feel of that. Feels really solid, that's a good strike, that one. 308. So I think looking at the numbers straight away there, maybe not seeing as much distance there with the Titleist against the Rogue, but again, we've got to weigh in that shape of shot a little bit as well. But let's look at some numbers in a bit more detail and see exactly what the difference is. Okay, so let's look at some numbers in a little bit more detail. So we've got the Rogue on the top, we've got TS2 on the bottom here. Okay, so we've got Rogue on the top, TS2 on the bottom. So clubhead speed, about 0.5 mile an hour to 3/4 mile an hour quicker with Rogue there. I didn't feel that at all, but obviously it is. And just under 1 mile an hour more ball speed, probably because of a little bit of that clubhead speed. So both pretty similar, in all honesty, off the ball speed off the face. Launching pretty much the same, around that 12.5 degree mark, which is nice. Backspin there, see 2343 with Rogue and 2735 with the Titleist. So obviously it's a number I'd prefer more to see that 23, near that 2000 mark for me. That's I know where I'm going to get a few extra yards, and that's what we're sort of seeing at the end, 313 against 303. But we've got to maybe look at shape of shots. We look at those first two shots I sort of hit there. So 685 left spin, 683 left spin. They were just moving a little bit left of target. It just drops that spin number a tiny little bit there, which helps to increase rollout a little bit more. Peak height comes a touch lower. Having said that, I've got a couple of higher ball flights there. You know, that second one at 46 was really high there. Cut that, maybe just left that face a little bit open there. You see the launch gone up to 14, 2.9 spin, and that's, you know, there's a drop of yardage there. But we've got to look at maybe ball flight then, and they all tend to be a little bit more neutral with the Titleist against the Rogue. Okay guys, so there we go, there's Rogue against TS2 there. So obviously Rogue winning it there in terms of pure distance, probably a good 10 yards more extra with run out there. But obviously I did hit, like I say, those first two a little bit sort of overdrawy left, which for me on the golf course is maybe a harder one to sort of control. Tends to be my weaker one. Whereas the Titleist, I didn't really get that so much, a little bit more neutral, a little bit more fade bias there, which I prefer. It feels safer to me there. So in terms of distance, yeah, Rogue obviously pipped it, but I think obviously with the shape of shot, that's probably going to give that extra yardage there. Ball speed looked very, very similar, or it was quicker because the clubhead speed was fractionally quicker there, so probably evens itself out in that respect. But I think in terms of dispersion for me, I prefer Titleist. In terms of look, it's a tough one. I love them both, to be honest. I do like the look of that Rogue, that composite sort of like graphics on the top I like. It sits lovely behind the golf ball. Titleist again is a good looking driver, so I can't really split it in terms of look, and probably even the feel off the face. It is different between these two with the composite. That maybe the jailbreak gives that firmer, solid feel. Titleist one just feels like maybe the ball's on the club face that little bit longer. It probably isn't, but it's just a feeling I get. So maybe just edge Titleist in terms of the feel there. But two, for me, really good drivers. Obviously they can get very much dialed in through fitting, through neck sleeve, obviously shafts, lofts, and obviously weighting in the heads as well. So let me know your comments down below, guys. You know, fire some comments. Let me know some feedback between Rogue and TS2. Is that something on your radar to go and try? Have you got either of these drivers? Let me know your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you haven't already subscribed and you're enjoying the content, then please do consider subscribing. Hit that bell icon also, then you get future notifications. As soon as the video lands on the channel, you'll be one of the very first ones to watch it. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.